Luna had always been underestimated. In a world driven by image, legacy, and manipulation, she learned early that survival meant staying 10 steps ahead and playing every role perfectly. That was how she rose through the ranks of Forrester Creations, weaving herself seamlessly into the elite world of the Spencers and Forresters. But now she was in deeper than ever before, and the stakes had never been higher. Steffi Forrester and her husband Finn had never fully trusted Luna. Her charisma was undeniable, her loyalty ambiguous. She had the kind of beauty that made people second-guess her intentions, and the kind of intelligence that made her dangerous. So when whispers reached Steffi's ears about Luna getting too close to Will Spencer, alarms went off. Will was a Spencer, rich, powerful, and potentially reckless. And Luna? She was ambitious enough to see an opportunity in him. So Steffi and Finn set a trap. Nothing illegal, nothing that would tie back to them, just subtle social engineering. They invited Luna to private events, isolated her with Will, pushed conversations that hinted at legacy, inheritance, long-term plans. Finn, ever the calm observer, dropped a few lines about family values and trust. Steffi, sharper and more calculated, orchestrated moments where Luna could shine just enough to feel empowered and just enough to feel like she was being watched. The goal was simple. Provoke a reaction. And Luna gave them one. She didn't flinch. She didn't push back. Instead, she turned the entire trap inside out. She leaned in, amplified the attention, fed into the rumors, and then one perfectly timed whisper to a Forrester staff member changed everything. Luna might be pregnant with Will Spencer's child. It was never confirmed. Luna didn't outright say it. She just let the suggestion hang in the air long enough for it to take root. Within hours, the rumor spread like wildfire through the Forrester offices. By morning, it had reached the Spencer family. By afternoon, the tabloids were hinting at a new Spencer heir and an unexpected twist in the family tree. Luna stayed silent. She didn't confirm or deny. She simply walked through the chaos with a faint, knowing smile, her hand sometimes brushing over her stomach just long enough for people to wonder. She wore looser clothes, canceled a champagne toast, scheduled a personal appointment on her calendar. Every move calculated, every gesture deliberate. The Spencer family was divided. Bill Spencer, the patriarch, was furious. Not at Luna, at Will. You don't just let someone play you like this, he snapped in a private meeting, slamming his fist on the table. But Will wasn't sure he had been played. Luna had never lied to him directly. She had never said the child was his. But the possibility, it changed everything. And part of him wanted it to be true. Meanwhile, Steffi and Finn realized their trap had backfired. What was supposed to expose Luna as a social climber had instead boosted her status. A potential Spencer heir, even if speculative, made her untouchable in certain circles. Suddenly, Luna had leverage. She wasn't just someone they were watching, she was someone they had to contend with. But not everyone was so easily fooled. Elektra. Sharp. Fierce. Unrelenting. She had always seen through Luna's performance. A longtime family friend of the Spencers and a quiet confidant of Donna Logan, Elektra had been circling the drama for months. She noticed the inconsistencies. The way Luna avoided certain doctors. The lack of any formal announcement. The absence of symptoms. To Elektra, Luna's pregnancy claim wasn't just suspicious, it was a lie. And she wasn't going to let it slide. One afternoon at Il Giardino, the showdown erupted. Luna arrived fashionably late, dressed in understated elegance, radiating the glow of someone enjoying the spotlight. Elektra was already there, waiting, a glass of white wine untouched before her. Their eyes met. "You've been busy," Elektra said coldly. I've been careful, Luna replied with a calm smile. Careful's one word for it. Manipulative's another. You think no one's putting the pieces together. Luna tilted her head. What pieces? Electra leaned in. The fake appointments. The carefully staged photos. The strategically leaked information. You're not pregnant, Luna. You're a liar. The restaurant quieted. Nearby diners glanced over. Luna didn't blink. Accusations without proof. Bold move. Don't need proof. I just need people to start asking questions. Real questions. Blood tests. Medical records. Paternity verification. Luna set her glass down. Her smile vanished. Be careful, Electra. You're stepping into a minefield. The moment you accuse me publicly, you better be ready for the fallout. Because whether or not I'm pregnant doesn't matter anymore. The Spencers are already invested. The Forresters are already on alert. You think they're going to thank you for trying to tear this apart? Electra laughed, bitter and sharp. I don't care what they think. I care about the truth. And I'm not the only one. Will's starting to ask questions too. You can't keep this up forever. Maybe I don't have to, Luna replied softly. Maybe I've already won. Electra stood up. This isn't over. Luna didn't respond. She didn't need to. The next day, the media ran a headline, Luna Spencer? Mystery deepens around alleged pregnancy. The article was vague, speculative, but it raised enough doubt to reignite internal scrutiny. Bill Spencer demanded answers. Will, torn between emotion and logic, confronted Luna in private. Just tell me, is there a child? Do I need to prepare for this, or are you playing the long game again? Luna looked at him, a flicker of something, maybe regret, maybe triumph, in her eyes. Does it matter? You already changed the way you look at me. That's the real power, Will. Meanwhile, Electra didn't stop. She hired a private investigator. Leaked anonymous tips to the press. Pushed for a quiet internal inquiry through Donna and Katie Logan. She knew time was short. The longer Luna remained in control of the narrative, the harder it would be to dislodge her. But Luna anticipated everything. She doctored reports, deleted messages, created a plausible trail of deception that no one could fully unravel. She even had a brief consult with a fertility specialist, just enough documentation to keep the wolves at bay. And then, just as the tension peaked, she made her move. A statement, carefully worded. Due to stress and recent complications, I am no longer moving forward with certain personal plans. I ask for privacy during this transitional period. Not a denial, not an admission. Just enough to make people feel sympathy. To imply loss without stating it. The family closed ranks. The Forresters, tired of the drama, decided to back off. The Spencers, still unsure, focused their attention elsewhere. Will distanced himself quietly. And Electra? She was shut out. Branded vindictive. Bitter. A woman who pushed too far. Luna emerged unscathed. Stronger. More respected. But something in her changed. She didn't smile as much. She moved through rooms with more awareness. The game had cost her. Maybe not her place, but something deeper. And she knew it wasn't over. Because Electra wasn't done. Because Will still cared. Because secrets never stay buried forever. And in the world of the bold and the beautiful, one whisper could shatter everything. Brooke Logan had seen many rivals rise and fall in the ruthless world of Los Angeles fashion and family politics, but none had haunted her as long or as deeply as Dr. Taylor Hayes. For decades, the two had waged a war of influence, affection, and control over Rich Forrester and the lives that orbited his complicated legacy. Now, with the Forrester family split, alliances tested, and the company hanging in the balance, Brooke realized Taylor wasn't just a personal threat anymore. She was a strategic one. And Brooke wasn't going to let her win this time. It started subtly. Taylor had returned from overseas, ostensibly to support her daughter Steffi through marital tension, but her presence quickly escalated into something more assertive. She began attending board meetings again, offering professional insight under the guise of family support. She rekindled friendships, charmed younger employees, and most alarmingly, started holding private sessions with Ridge and Thomas under the pretext of family healing. Brooke saw it clearly for what it was: manipulation. Taylor was positioning herself not only as a therapist, but as a trusted power broker inside Forrester Creations. Brooke had warned Ridge. He dismissed her, claimed Taylor was only trying to help. But Brooke had been through the cycle before. Taylor played the long game. Soft words, strategic counsel, and always the veneer of nobility while planting seeds of control. Brooke saw it happening again, and this time, she wasn't going to stay quiet. Katie Logan, ever perceptive, noticed her sister's frustration boiling over. Unlike in the past, Katie didn't urge patience. She agreed. Taylor was embedding herself deeper, and not just into the Forrester business, but into public perception. Already, articles were surfacing highlighting Taylor's work in international trauma recovery, rebranding her from the messy, unstable figure of the past to a heroic, reformed counselor. Katie, with her background in PR, recognized a campaign in motion. Taylor was laundering her image. That was when the sisters decided to strike first. Brooke and Katie didn't go to war with scandal or anonymous leaks. They went strategic, precise, coordinated. Step 1. Weaponize the truth. Brooke collected documentation of Taylor's troubled professional history, medical board suspensions, mental health evaluations that had been sealed but not erased, and then the emotional collateral: Taylor's involvement in the shooting of Bill Spencer, an act she claimed was done in a moment of dissociation but had almost torn the Spencer family apart. Katie, having been at the center of that nightmare, didn't hesitate. She nearly killed the father of my child and walked away with a slap on the wrist, she reminded Brooke. The public deserves to know who she really is. With the dossier compiled, they set the trap. They called in a favor from a well-connected friend in the media world, an anchor with access to the city's most watched daytime talk show. The story was pitched not as revenge, but as revelation. The dangerous duality of Taylor Hayes, hero or hypocrite. The producers ate it up. Within days, the segment aired. Carefully edited, fact-checked, and interspersed with dramatic archival footage, it painted Taylor not as a villain, but as an unstable wild card with a history of emotional volatility and criminal behavior masked behind her therapy credentials. The backlash was immediate. Social media erupted. Influencers dissected her past. Comment sections turned hostile. Patients began canceling appointments at her private clinic. Ridge, caught completely off guard, confronted Brooke. She didn't deny it. "You left me no choice," she said coldly. "You invited her into our lives again. Into our home. Into our boardroom. I won't watch her destroy everything we've built." Taylor didn't respond publicly at first. She disappeared for several days, refusing interviews, avoiding cameras. But Steffi stepped up, fiercely defending her mother in a press statement, blaming the Logans for exploiting personal struggles for gain. "My mother has helped people heal around the world," she declared. "She made mistakes, but she took responsibility." Brooke Logan wouldn't know what that looks like if it hit her in the face. Brooke didn't blink. Katie doubled down. A second article hit the press, this time revealing a sealed report from Taylor's time abroad, involving a controversial misdiagnosis that had allegedly worsened a humanitarian crisis in the Middle East. While the claims were unproven, the damage was done. Taylor's credibility suffered a devastating blow. That's when Taylor struck back. Appearing on live television, she gave an emotionally charged interview. With carefully applied makeup and a calm, practiced tone, she admitted to past struggles, but accused Brooke and Katie of character assassination. "They are afraid of strong women with a past," she said. "They want to define me by my lowest moments while ignoring their own. But I've evolved. They haven't." The line hit hard. Suddenly, the war wasn't just about Taylor's history. It became about legacy, Logan versus Forrester, emotion versus logic, public empathy versus calculated power. Sides were drawn. Donna Logan tried to broker peace, but was shut out by both camps. Hope remained quiet, not wanting to alienate Steffi or her mother. Liam, caught between Katie and Steffi's camps, retreated to silence. Eric Forrester, the patriarch, called for civility. But his words carried less weight now, as the company was increasingly run by younger, sharper voices. Behind the scenes, Katie secured legal consultation. They expected a defamation suit. But Taylor surprised them. She filed a formal ethics complaint with the California Medical Board, not against Brooke or Katie, but against their media ally, accusing him of violating privacy and enabling harassment. The media outlet began backpedaling. Sponsors threatened to pull ads. Brooke realized the war had entered another phase. Not a media battle now, but a cold war of influence, sabotage, and silence. Taylor wasn't going away. She was evolving. And Brooke had to be smarter. They shifted tactics. Instead of attacking Taylor directly, Katie began working with trusted board members to limit Taylor's access to Forrester meetings. She invoked confidentiality clauses, board restructuring protocols. Slowly, quietly, Taylor found herself locked out of decision-making spaces. Meanwhile, Brooke turned to RJ, her son with Ridge. She began planting seeds about Taylor's instability, about the danger of letting emotional manipulation dictate company direction. RJ was hesitant at first, but his loyalty to Brooke won out. He began pushing back in meetings, questioning Steffi's alignment with her mother. It was working. Until Taylor went for the jugular. She announced the establishment of a rival mental health foundation, co-funded by an anonymous donor, rumored to be someone inside the Forrester orbit. The foundation would operate internationally, but also focus on healing trauma caused by media exploitation and intergenerational family dysfunction. It was a not-so-subtle attack on the Logan sisters' latest media crusade. Katie saw it instantly. She's trying to paint us as aggressors. Abusers. She wants the world to pity her. Brooke nodded. Then we stop being loud. And we start being precise. They launched a quiet campaign, not public this time, but surgical. Whisper networks. Investor meetings. Private dinners with key allies. A slow dismantling of Taylor's credibility not through headlines, but through influence. And it worked. Slowly, board members began to shift away from Steffi's aggressive proposals. Investors started questioning Taylor's long-term involvement. Hope distanced herself. Even Ridge, weary from the tension, began to retreat into neutrality. Taylor knew it. She saw the walls closing in. And she didn't break. She just got colder. No more warmth. No more vulnerability. She wore power suits, gave sharp interviews, kept her emotions under a steel grip. She'd become what the Logans feared most, a controlled threat. The Cold War continued. Each side watched, each waited, and the balance of power hung by a thread.